What is this thing I found in an antique shop? The hand with a red dot has resistance. The piece on top slides freely, and the teeth don't seem to do much. There is a tiny switch thing on the side that moves about a degree, possibly 2 settings. It looks like what used to be adhesive on the back, possibly stuck to a wall or a table. Any ideas? It's a mechanical self-timer for a camera shutter release, made in Germany around the 1920s, and possibly made by Ferdax, but I don't see any company name on it at the back. On old cameras, you could attach a short cable to the shutter so as not to shake the camera when on a tripod. Then you could add this to the cable to activate the shutter after a short time, mostly so you could run like a fool to get in the picture. What is this 3.5-inch heavy metal object with a strap? I've tried Googling small metal boxes and tiny metal boxes, but those are not helping. The person who owns it doesn't remember where or when he got it. Any help is appreciated. It's not a powder flask. It's a case for carrying lubricated patches, flint, or percussion caps for a black powder rifle from the mid-19th century. There must be some mistranslation or confusion around them being black powder accessories that make people think they're flasks. In Greek, they're called medullari, and they're common all over the Eastern Mediterranean and Middle East. What are these metal bracelets with chain attachment? I found it in a box of old stuff when clearing out a house. There's no label, names, inscriptions, dates, etc. And the bracelet appears big enough for an adult to wear. I am not sure what the metal is, maybe silver-plated, and it doesn't appear tarnished. I do not know how old, but the box had baby clothes from the 80s. Internet searches gave no results. I have seen similarly shaped bracelets, but I have no idea what they actually are. Any help would be appreciated, thank you. They are baby carriage cover clamps that hold the baby's blanket securely to the carriage from the 1950s, made by Rhoda French from Brooklyn, New York. The clamps have silver link chains that rest across the blanket and clip onto the sides. What is this small leather piece with straps and adjustable buckles? I found this on the ground years ago and felt compelled to take it. There were 2 at the time, but I've since lost the other. About 6 by 7 inches, triangular piece with adjustable buckles. It seems like it's some sort of fashion accessory, although I can't figure out how to put it on any body part or any animal. Any ideas? It's a boot strap, an ornament for a boot. The single strap goes under the arch of the boot, in front of the heel, and the double straps go around the ankle and patch on the side. My wife had something similar. You could take them off and change them. What is this thing I dug up in the area where I found coins from 1734? I found it 50 years ago in the ground in a summer cottage, where there used to be an ancient settlement. This has been lying around the house for many, many years now, and it hasn't even oxidized. Any ideas? It's a fibula without a pin. It's a brooch or a pin for fastening garments, typically at the right shoulder. The fibula developed in a variety of shapes, but all were based on the safety pin principle. Unlike most modern brooches, fibulae were not only decorative, they originally served a practical function to fasten clothing for both sexes, such as dresses and cloaks. What is this shot glass with some sort of straw included? The handle is the straw in a tube, and on the front there are probably grapes. I bought this thing from a second-hand shop, and it was labeled as shot glass. My first guess was more drug-related, but I chose the more wholesome possibility, which is a decanter because of the grapes on it. Any idea what it is? It's a port or brandy sipper. They are supposed to make the alcohol taste better as you're drinking from the part that's not exposed to the air. It gives the wine a more full-bodied flavor by taking the fluid from the bottom of the vessel. I bought mine in Germany in the early 1970s, and these are now super rare in the United States and are very hard to find in Europe. What is this metal item? I'm unsure exactly what material, what age, and what origin, but I found it here in the Netherlands. It has a small star-shaped inscription and no other markings. Around 3.5 inches tall, it's heavyish, and the bottom is very scratched up. We found it at my grandmother's house, and she has a collection of items from all her travels, including Ethiopia, Indonesia, and Australia, so it could be from anywhere. I already did some Google searches, but it has no matching items. Do you have any ideas about it? It's an unengraved wax seal stamp from the 19th century. Usually they have symbols or things on them, but traditionally they were used to pour wax on letters and seal them. And stamps typically come blank until personalized. You could then get it engraved with your own personal thing. I found a package of these 3 things in some stuff from my wife's grandparents, who lived in western Pennsylvania and passed away about 9 years ago. They were packaged together in a plastic sleeve, which I assume is how they originally came. And it was just big enough for the 3 of them, so that's all there is to the set. No markings other than Stainless Japan, and what looks like a 6 in a circle, stamped into the blade. Any ideas? These are mid-century cocktails or appetizer picks circa 1950s, used more as a fancy toothpick, whether for shrimp, appetizers, or floating olives. The handles are black plastic, and they were made in Japan. What is this mystery disc-shaped object that has slightly raised iridescent patches on both sides? It's thin but kind of heavy, like it's made of metal, and around 4 inches in diameter. Haven't turned anything up on Google searching various combinations of disc, iridescent, metal, metallic, petrified, fossil, etc. My mum can't remember, but she thinks she may have found it at a gem store like 20 plus years ago. We're stumped. Any ideas? It's a pyrite sun, also known as pyrite dollars, sun dollars, or miner's dollars. These are collected in coal mines 300 feet below the Earth's surface, and these suns formed over 350 million years ago. The fanned crystal structure is due to compressed growth between sheets of anthracite coal shale. At one time, these were mistakenly thought to be fossilized sand dollars or lily pads. These are located by gently splitting the layers of shale, and then must be cleaned by a labor-intensive process that produces such wonderful treasures. It looks like you can make a few bucks off of that. What is this utensil? When you press the button on one end, the grips open. The guy selling it said it was for snails, which I find hard to believe. My first guess was an ice grabber. Any idea what this was used for? Please tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.